All right, what is happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another live riding solo tonight. Unfortunately, Randizzle had to drop out just a little bit ago, so y'all got me. It's a just Debo episode, but it should be fun tonight. I actually, when I was getting ready for tonight's stream, my guy Philip Cheek hit me up and said, "You know, what are you doing?" I'm like, I don't really have a huge plan. I want to, do some bank fishing stuff, lures, rod, reels, just kind of talk about all that. But I thought, you know what, because I didn't have anything painted for a giveaway. I got done painting earlier today. For any of you who've been looking for lures on the website, I did just load a bunch of lures on DEBO'Sfishing.com. And I thank you all so freaking much for the support. Ton of orders and stuff out there. Means a bunch to me. But I was like, I don't have like a specific lure painted for tonight. So I grabbed a little box and put together some bank fishing lures, things that I like, things that I use, things that I think will help somebody. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little giveaway of that box, talk about the lures that I picked for it. And then it's going to be up to all of you, letting me know what questions you have for bank fishing, gear, rods, reels, lures, everything. That's where we're going tonight. So what's up, everyone? Got quite a few people in here already. What, 100 people already? Dang. Y'all are awesome. Let's see. Do we have any questions thus far? Fishing with Gramps in the house. My favorite bait, I'm guessing something was said about a chatterbait would be my guess. I just realized I didn't even have my headphones in, so that probably sounded really muffled to all of you. I didn't have anybody to hear, so dummy Debo moment there. Bait Man, what's up, Debo? Been a bit. Got to do a mold catalog. Oh, got to do a mold. Funny enough, right before I was doing this, I got one too, was looking at it. Go check out the good folks over at Do It. Partnered up with them this year. They're awesome people right here in Iowa. Speaking of Iowa, it's kind of a clincher of a game. Iowa did pull it out. It wasn't impressive, but go Hawks. We got some what's up people hitting the like button. Yes, I appreciate it. Hella Bass in the house. Army Outdoors, David Galloway, all kinds of folks in here. Chris asked, I just nabbed a 13 fishing. Yeah, I actually had a ton of people ask me about this. Tackle Junkie Jim must have posted something about it or had a video or something on it, because I had probably like 10 people ask, is the 13 Fishing Sport Z? I've actually got it back there somewhere. I'd have to try to find it, but it's the green 13 fishing reel. I forget I can do this. Hold on. Let's go over to the interwebs. What is it? Mystery. What is their site even? Carl's Bait and Tackle, I guess is the name of it. What's the first thing on there when you go to click on the deal? Let's see. So 13 fishing. Yeah, and there's like a deal where you can like save $10. And I think if you use Tackle Junkie's code, you can save $10. Let's see here. I would just show you all real quick. Let's see. 13 fishing. $72 if you remember. Let me see. I will share this for you all quick. And actually, we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing, depends on who I have, some day after Thanksgiving, all the sales and everything that are going on, pre-Black Friday sales, everything that's going down. I'm going to do a stream on that and just talk about deals, what I see out there, what I would recommend, what I like. Okay, Carl's Bait and Tackle. So are you all able to see this? Let's see. Let's go to a different view. We'll do this one. Oh, and I did the wrong one. Let's go. Share. It's almost like it's the first time I've ever done this. Come on, Debo, get with it. Get with the program here. I'm behind. I got all flustered since Randizzle wasn't going to join me. So there it is, $72. I think they were 150 when they launched them. I got mine at Gander when they were going out of business for, I think, $60. But they've got it for 72 if you remember. Then I think, like I said, use Tackle Junkie's code and he's got like an extra $10 off. So $62. It's a good reel. Aluminum frame. It's a little bit bright for my liking. I don't like the color of it, but is what it is. All right. What else do we have in here? Chris, good question. Good bringing that up. Hawkeyes. Yep, we got a couple people about talking about the Hawks. My guy Chris, who's another Iowa guy. Shimano Caius is a good combo. Yeah, when I had a couple combos I wanted to bring up. Shimano Kayas is a good combo, especially for like the budget stuff. My Walmart here in Iowa has it for 99 bucks. So other people have sent me a link and stuff. I think like Academy had it for 120. But I would say check your local Wally World. Mine had it for under $100 for the Kayas rod and reel combo. So a lot of people asking about that. Well, that's what we'll start with. We'll start with some combos. I see 3 questions almost in a row about combos. So that was one of them that I had on the list. Number 2, the Lose Xfinity. It's like the white and orange. Now, keep in mind, these aren't going to be, the lightest, most comfortable, depending on how long and how much you fish, the most durable, because they're usually going to be a graphite frame, graphite side plate bait caster. Sometimes the rods aren't the crisp, like good, super sensitive, but that's fine with a lot of stuff, moving baits, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits and stuff where you don't need to feel, every little pebble on the bottom, like something like Finesse. And if you're just starting out, having just one of those is better than nothing anyway. So that Xfinity, the Kayas, and I've actually really liked this year. I'm going to do a full video on it. The Abu Garcia Max X combo. Not a huge fan of the rod. I've kind of said that a few times, but the reel I was really impressed with. Really impressed with the reel. No pun intended. Sort of intended. So those were the 3 combos I wanted to bring up. As far as like you can get just the Max X reel, I think that's $59 for the Abu Max X reel. Last year I used the Lose, what was it? It's 59 bucks. Is it the Classic Pro? That was a good reel at $59. As you move up, of course, the Lose LFS. Amazon has the Revo SX, which is like $160 reel on sale right now for 99 bucks. So I would go check that out if you're looking for another good reel at that $100 price point. And then rods, I've done a bunch of that. As far as like $99 rods, there's quite a few out there now, really. A lot of the companies are coming out with kind of that more budget-friendly stuff where I feel like before you almost had to go up, to that 150, 200 before you started getting that like that different feeling. But companies are so wise on, people wanting the budget stuff that, and, the technology's gotten so much better. It's kind of caught up. So, like the Dobyns Fury rods are good. Actually the blue Shimano Celis. I used that a lot last year. Was a big fan of it. There's quite a few of them out there, but let's see. I know we've got a bunch of chatter going on in here. I want to try to keep up with questions. Let's see. Outdoor angling. What rod would you use for a chatterbait? I'm like a 7'2" fan. So a 7'2", medium heavy, fast action, not like a super stiff, crisp rod. I usually would use that for something like, a bottom contact bait. But most of your rods, especially in that budget realm, are going to be a little bit softer to the tip anyway. So something like that, anything in that range, you don't have to have something crazy special, especially if you're just starting out. Like a 7'2", medium heavy, fast will do you for most stuff anyway. Not only chatterbaits, most things when you're starting out. And if you're worried about sensitivity, go braid. Especially if you have dirty water, just go straight braid. Hellabass says gophers. No, sir. Not today. They had chances to win. They had multiple chances to win it, but for you use blade baits at all? Not chatterbaits, an actual blade bait. Oh, like a cold water blade bait. So he's talking about, actually don't have any here close. I bet if Tackle Junkie was on, he'd probably have like 10 of them close to him. But he's talking about like an actual, it looks like a lipless, like it's a piece of metal with a little piece of lead on the bottom. So it looks like a lipless crankbait, but instead of being plastic, it's just a blade, almost like a spoon, kind of, you can think of it. I don't use them a ton. Great for cold water. I know people jig them off the bottom. Fishing from the bank, it's kind of hard because you lose so many of them. You get them hung up. But I know they're fish catchers, especially in the cold water. Like now, I need to get out and try some. Let's see. Stubbs. Oh, it was Mr. Stubbs in the background. We had David Smith calling out Stubby Dog. He was kind of wandering around down here earlier. Let's see. Hellabass, and I guess him and the bait man, is he going Sunday Night Live now? Well, if either of you guys are bored and want to hop on in here. Let's talk some bank fishing, Hella or Mr. Baxter. I got $67 with the discount. Oh, cool. On that Inception Z. Go Buckeyes. What's up, Debo? Let's see. And we got a $10 donation. Anybody that gives a donation, I appreciate it a ton. You don't have to donate to enter the giveaway. I am doing a giveaway, like I said. I'm going to open up the box here in just a second. But Justin, good supporter. Finally got another guy in my department at work, so I don't need to do the 60-hour weeks. Good. Thought I'd give you a 10 bomb. Love you and all of our other fishing friends. Well, thank you very much, dude. Fishing has kept me sane. I was on live with Alex Rudd. I don't know what's that been, a few weeks ago. I took a live week off and I debated like just stopping the lives, you know, because I've heard from more than one person that with the new YouTube algorithm or whatever, it hurts your, I forget what it is, impressions or whatever it is. And it actually hurts your channel doing them more often because they usually get less views. But for whatever reason, my channel has kind of tanked lately. Like my subscribers are way down, like a quarter of what I was usually getting. Views and stuff are way down. So I'm like, you know what, to heck with it. It's the cold winter months anyway. I'm going to keep doing them because I honestly like this. I have a lot of people that reach out and say, Debo, I don't really like the lives. You know, there's a lot of just like talking and BSing in there. Like I want information. And that's fine. I get that. But like, this is a chance to ask me questions, to interact with you. Like you just get me in chilling in my basement and we're talking. And I like when people do lives. So I'm going to keep doing them. You know, if you don't like it, you can watch the the rebroadcast. I know that's a big thing for people. They don't have time to sit and watch the whole video, you know, live. I get that. I've got a family. But I save them out there on the YouTube so you can watch them later or just skip over them. I'm still doing 2. I want to get back up to 3 videos a week. With my schedule and stuff, it's only been 2. But outdoor angling, another good question. Are the St. Croix rods good? Yes. I have only recently, this year and last year, started messing with the St. Croix stuff. Not because they weren't good or anything, just I honestly didn't have any ever. Rand Izzle's a big fan of the St. Croix stuff. He's got, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 of them. But I got the, let's see, what is it? The Victory. Is that the new one? Here, I'll do a Tackle Warehouse deal here. Bring up my Tackle Warehouse screen share. I think that's the one that I've been using the most lately. I want to get the new Bass X. I saw it was out, and that's a $100 rod. But yeah, I've liked them. That's been the big one that I've been using. And then the spinning rod is, what is it? There's the new Bass X. Looks pretty sweet. Yeah, the Victory. So it's a $190 rod. So it's not right at that $100 price point. It's a little bit more expensive. But I've got like the medium heavy, so I think it was like, what, 110? Those are all the really big rods. Or 210, sorry, not 110. Or 220 maybe, somewhere in here. 7.2, yeah, 190 is what it was. So I believe that's the one I have right there, or the Fast. One of these here. Anyway, I have really liked it a lot. Now, one thing that I think is funny is Dad was here, I think a couple weekends ago. And Pops and I were talking. He was looking at gear, and he's like, man, he's like, when you open up your tackle shop? Corny dad joke, you know? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've used that joke a bunch too. But anyway, I had him hold it because he's a huge fan of, like, if he could not have reel triggers, these things, on rods, hopefully I'm sharing. Okay, good. If he could not have them on any of them, that's what he likes. I like a little bit longer reel trigger just so it feels secure, but he really liked that it was small here. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I wish this was a little bit bigger. But I do like where you lay your finger here because I finger the reel. So like if you're holding a reel like this, I lay my finger in front of the line guide. I finger my line, I should say. And I do like the EVA there. It's super comfortable just to hold. And I got a stiffer one. Mine's an extra fast. So I don't know which one exactly I have in here. It's like a 7.3 extra fast. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I really like that rod. Sorry I rambled. There's the people that hate my lives where I ramble and talk about a bunch of nonsense. So they're going, so see, he's just rambling right now. Lives are stupid. Yes. Oh, and I shouldn't have closed that out because I also have the spinning rod. I'll tell you what it is real quick. Randizzle actually has an old one of it, and he really liked it. And it's like the $100 one. They brought it back. Triumph. Yeah, the Triumph. St. Croix Triumph spinning rod. And I've really liked it. But oh my gosh, we got all kinds of donations coming in here. Let me see if I can keep up. Sorry, folks, it's hard when there's just a Debo. Let's see. Let me go back. Who was the first one here after? Was it Sweet Boys? Hopefully it was Sweet Boys. That's all I'm seeing here. Okay, let's go. Sweet Boys says, what would you recommend throwing right now between Texas rig Cincos or paddle tail swim baits? Well, brother, that depends on where you were at. Today we had snow here in Iowa. It was high in the 30s. I think we're supposed to get down to like 20 or in the teens is all tonight. So it depends where you're at, what your water temps are. Texas rig, heck with it. Let's get our giveaway box started here. So as I said, I'm giving away a box of lures that I love. Great for beginners, especially bank fishing, just because I feel like there's not enough bank fishing love out there. And funny enough, like within the YouTube community, most people are cool. But it seems like some people love a little bit of drama, you know, like they like to stir the pot a little bit. And somebody kind of left a side mouth comment about like bank angling and these like YouTube channels that do bank angling. Like, why would anybody watch them for information? They didn't even have a boat. There's one guy that thinks he knows a bunch about gear and stuff and blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying it was aimed at me. Maybe it was, but I had a few people point it out. So I thought it was kind of funny. But so from a dumb, uneducated bank angler like myself, the Havoc Pit Boss 4-inch, and this is one of the OGs. I had like 20 of these bags. Walmart had them marked down to like $1 when they got rid of all of them. And that's been years and years ago. And I'm actually down to like probably 4 or 5 bags. So this is part of my golden stash. You can see these are like pristine, this packaging. But the Pit Boss is so cool because, and there's things kind of like it now, but for whatever reason, still this design is like one of my favorites. And you've got these little legs down here and they have like just little, like barely little like flanges. It almost comes to a tip, almost like a knife. So the back of it here is thicker than the front of it. And they wobble or, flap really well. Then if you don't want that, like if you're just flipping a pitch and you want this as a trailer, you can just snip these off. Sorry, trying to do this in the camera. You can just snip those off and just have, your 2 little claws back here that don't really kick and do much. And it's funny because every time people see these rigged on a video, I don't know that I have an EWG hook anywhere around here. They always make the comment, and maybe this is why some of these fancy bass boat guys think I'm an idiot, because I always rig these upside down. It's not because I'm stupid and can't read. It's by choice. So if you rig them the right way, so this is actually the top of it. There's just like a little space here with some ridges, and your hook sticks into that. But this part like comes up. So I noticed a lot of times when I was getting bites, it would do this down at the bottom, and you'd have all this plastic in the way. However, what I love about the Pit Boss, and I don't know how well it's going to show it. My camera kind of sucks. I need to get Gramps over here and hook me up with a good camera. You can barely see it there, but there's like a trench here. So when I rig this, I put this on the top and I just lay my hook down in there. So it's almost like the swim baits that have the cut, the channel, the trough up in the top. You can just lay your EWG hook flat in there. That's how I've rigged them. I've had better success. Some people say you're wrong. That's fine. That's how I've done it and liked it. So, and usually I throw straight green pumpkin, so it doesn't matter anyway. I guess the only thing that I could say those people are right is if you're throwing a color like this and you want that bright color on the bottom, you'd have to rig it like this. Like Croix around here, we have blue on the belly, blue on the bottom. So that's the only time I guess you'd really have to if you wanted to get that color across. But if you're going with just green pumpkin, rig it upside down. I'm telling you, try it. So I'm going to throw in one of those. So as far as Texas rig goes, what was the question? Texas rig, oh, it wasn't even on creature baits. Anyway, yes, Texas rigs for beginners, awesome. They're mostly snag proof. You're still going to get snags with them, but I would say 90% snag proof compared to everything else. And when you're starting out, not getting snagged is a huge victory. Just that, even if you're not catching fish, just not snagging every other cast. So Sweet Boys, I don't know if you left. This is where it helps to have 2 people. Did anybody volunteer? Did anybody else want to get on here with me and help with comments? Trying to show and talk when these are all flying by. People are like, gosh, you didn't read my question. Well, things are flying by here like 18 miles an hour. That's fast on a computer, trust me. Not in a car, but it's fast on a computer. I don't see anything about you verifying, but I mean, a Texas rig Senko is always going to catch fish. Even that's been like, what, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I did a video on that. Texas rig stick baits or stick baits in general versus swim baits. And the stick bait caught more. but a larger paddle tail. I was using, I think, like a 6-inch, whatever the Beast Coast Miyagi is, 5-inch. It caught bigger fish, but I only caught a couple, one of which was my PB. But the stick bait caught more. So, I mean, they catch fish all year round. Seriously. Okay, let's see. So hopefully that helped, my friend. I'm going back here, scrolling. I've got to go all the way back to try to get to these comments. That's the only thing I wish about StreamYard is that like it put all these in a parking lot, because you actually have to go to find it like when you scroll comments to actually click on it to get it to show up, which stinks. Okay, so my guy Fish Daddy, been making any plastics or pouring any lead lately? Would love to see some Debo jig trailer pairings. Love what you do, buddy. Well, I appreciate you too, Fish Daddy. And speaking of a guy making plastics, this is funny. I had this sitting here last time. I haven't moved it yet, but Fish Daddy's an awesome guy. I try to help out and support all the small bait makers that I can. He's doing some awesome soft plastic work. Look him up. I think he just actually opened up his website too. You didn't have that on here, Arthur, because that was new. But anyway, look up Fish Daddy on Instagram. Super nice guy. I haven't been making anything lately. Today I was doing all crankbait stuff. I mean, the past couple weeks have been trying to get everything ready for my crankbait drop. And for anybody, I can put it in the comments. I've had a bunch of people asking a bunch of orders in. So again, thank you all so freaking much for the orders, but it's just DEBO'S.fishing.com. If you check it out, I put a whole bunch of crankbaits and stuff on there. If you don't know, I paint my own crankbaits and have my own little side business. So that's really what's ate up a lot of the time, because it's been cold here. And with family stuff, like it's just been so busy. I haven't even been able to get out and really fish. Sucks, but you know, you got to do the adult things. My guy, Neil. What up, Debo? What up, Neil, with the donation? Thank you, my good sir. I appreciate that. Mike Vogel. Okay, so Mike, I had a crazy headache before. Mike actually hooked me up with the Debo Dink of the Week, which he edited and sent to me. He took time out of his life to do, which is awesome. And I was trying to get it on here because you can do like banners. I don't know if anybody has ever done these, or it's like when you go to branding. So if I do this, well, this. Anyway, you can do like those things in between. And I was going to do the Debo Dink of the Week and then pick a winner. But it was, I couldn't get it to work with the photos. I couldn't get the photos off my phone because I'd taken screenshots from Instagram. It was a mess. But anyway, Mike, good guy and supporter. Thank you very much for the donation, Mike. Good sir. Keep up the lives. They're fantastic live, or even a couple days later for the information and a follow us feels when you drive Randizzle crazy. I love picking on Randizzle. You guys see it here, but he picks on me way more. He's a far bigger bully than I am. Let's see. So thank you, Mike. And also for the crankbait order. I appreciate that, good sir. What's a good spinning rod around $100? Well, honestly, Will, the one that I've used most this year at $100 has been that St. Croix Triumph. This is the casting model. But I'll just show you anyway so you know what I'm talking about. Here. St. Croix Triumph. It was an old rod. They brought it back. Like I said, my buddy Randy has an old one. But it's $99, $100. I have loved that rod, that spinning rod. As far as like more expensive, my favorite one has been the Okuma Psycho Stick. Absolute awesome spinning rod. They're more expensive, $200, 200 something bucks. Where are they? Whoops. Alphabet. Alphabets are hard. I'm not a math major. So the Psycho Stick, it's a one piece. I saw some other questions about, do you use two piece? I honestly don't like two-piece rods. It's just one more thing to worry about. So yeah, these are $220. Definitely a little bit more pricey, but absolutely love that. That's what I've been using for Wacky Rig. Wacky Rig by far has caught me the most fish this year. Hopefully I was sharing that all with you too, right? You can see that? Okay. So that's some picks on those. And we've got a ton of good people in here, other people that know gear and stuff too. So I'm sure they're leaving comments here. I'm trying to zip through comments and such, but you know, whether it's Baxter or Gramps, Pella, all kinds of guys in here, other YouTubers and stuff. Don't just take my word for things. They might have other things that they like. Hellabass, I know, has worked with Dobyns for a long time, and I picked up some stuff off his recommendation. And I freaking love that Champion XP. Again, it's like a $200 casting rod, but right now with sales and stuff, I think who was it? Somewhere, I don't know, maybe he's left his code in here or whatever, but I think somewhere had him 20% off. So, you know, if you're getting 40 bucks off that, I mean, that's a pretty good steal. So I would say look at those. And like I said, we're going to talk more about Black Friday deals and all the special sales and everything that are coming up. But okay, let's get back into the box here. Another good thing for bank fishing beginners, finesse jigs. So I was always a swim jig guy or just like a larger jig, flip and pitch. And honestly, I would go to, if I was just flipping and pitching, I would go more to a Texas rig over a jig. Again, back to Randizzle couldn't join me tonight, but he could have told you that dude has whipped my butt on finesse jigs more times than I can count. And I didn't have any War Eagles. That's his jig of choice. But these are, what are they? The Tactical Finesse from Jewel Jigs. I've like these. You get a 2-pack of them. It's a good color. They call it Bass Whacker, I guess. But it's like a green pumpkin, kind of a bluegilly / summer craw with some orange look to it, like green pumpkin, chartreuse, some orange. Great color. But anyway, for beginners, if you're trying to get into jigs, they get lots of fish. They catch big fish. Throwing something like this is far less intimidating. 5/16 is my favorite from the bank. Going as light as you can get away with, but still feeling it. If you throw a 1/2-ounce jig, you know, you hear guys in the boat. Oh boy, I should have asked him about it. The expert guy that was side talking about old Debo. You know, if you're throwing a 1/2 ounce or a 3/4, which is what a lot of guys throw from the boat, and that's what I throw out in the boat too. 1/2 ounce is usually where I start. You try that from the bank, especially around larger riprap and stuff, you're going to be super frustrated because you're going to break off all those in no time. So going as light as you can. Randizzle likes a 3/8. I like a 5/16, but going as light as you can get away with, even a 1/4, you know, if you have a setup for it. But finesse jig is an awesome pick, and you can use those havocs on there. You cut those down in half. I did that for a while. Otherwise, just like a little craw. I don't remember what all I threw in here. Speaking of another jig, another cool one is, and I think we were talking about Carl's earlier. If you check out Carl's, the Trash Master. I've only caught a couple fish on them. However, the cool part about these is they are just like some old jigs that I had when I first started fishing. Pops gave me, because in the front, they have a screw keeper. So you screw like your craw or worm, whatever you're going to put on here. And then you thread your hook on, and you've got a weedless, pretty much like a Texas rig version of a jig. So you don't have to worry about having an open exposed hook. Thread your plastic on, and it's all sitting here nice and straight. So these are pretty cool. I've actually had more success using them like a swim jig. I know some people throw them out and hop them around like a, you know, just like a flipping jig. But those are pretty cool jigs too, and I would assume you could probably get them on sale now with the deal going on over at Carl's. I don't know for sure, but I would probably guess you could get them on sale. This is, funny enough, a 1/2 ounce, but it's because I usually use it as a swim jig. Something that I'm swimming, especially if you have a larger soft plastic on the back that has a lot of action, that's going to keep that bait up higher in the water column. So like a lot of times you'll hear people say with a chatterbait, oh, I was throwing a 3/8 ounce chatterbait with a paddle tail on the back of it, and it just keeps coming up to the top. Well, you can either downsize the thing that you have on back, or you can go a little bit heavier to keep it down there. So like with chatterbaits, spinner baits, I go back and forth between 1/2 ounce and 3/8. So if you're swimming this around, you will be fine throwing a 1/2 ounce. Again, because it's weedless. So if it does hit bottom, it's not like you have an exposed hook deal to get stuck. Okay, so let's look at questions here real quick. 270 people in here. Y'all are flipping awesome. I love you guys. You help keep me sane. Let's see. What do we got? Anybody else? Did anybody volunteer to jump on? If you have my phone number and you want to jump on, text me. Because I cannot. I am way back on comments. Army Outdoors, you're the next one that I see. Army Outdoors, thank you, brother. Is tips to staying warm during the winter fishing season. This is my first season fast fishing in the winter since the Army moved me from Alaska last year to Kentucky. I'm determined to fish the winter. Well, dude, I'm honestly not a big help like winter fishing, like the long winter months or the extended winter for like the southern states. So like I said, right here, right now in Iowa, and it's even kind of a little bit behind. Usually we're colder before this, but today it was 30 degrees. We're going to ice over here. I mean, but the big thing is you have to remember that the fish are slowing down. The fish's metabolism is going to slow down the colder it gets. They're going to get, you know, start moving out to the deeper spots, and it depends where you fish. Like you hear people, you know, say, well, they're going to move out to the way deep in the middle of the lake. What if you're fishing a pond that's shaped like a fishbowl? You know, it might be the deepest spot, you know, could be like a little plane of 8 foot. That's your deepest spot, you know. But just remember, slowing down your retrieve, pretty much anything you're doing, you're not going to be able to burn, you know, like a topwater or something, buzzbait as it gets later. But, you know, most of that stuff's going to die off and it's going to be slower presentation. So, you know, a finesse jig is perfect around rock, wood, docks, anything like that that holds heat. Those fish will move toward that. Or as it's getting later in the year now, any sort of spots that still have green grass, which was, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago for me with the lipless, finding those spots that still had good green grass are holding fish. The spots where it's all brown and died off, usually you're not going to find them there. So slowing down, you know, things like your suspending jerk baits, slow rolling spinner baits, slow rolling paddle tails, lipless, like somebody was talking about before, the blade bait. Slowing down is the biggest thing. Tips to staying warm. I don't know what your budget is, but I would never, ever go without an ice fishing suit ever again. So I've told this before, but I used to ice fish with my old man. We'd go out and sit on a bucket. He'd be like, make sure you dress warm. I would feel like I had layers on and I would still freeze my tail off out there. So I got, I don't know, what, 3 years ago when I started ice fishing again, like a striker ice fishing suit. It's crazy how warm those things keep you. I mean, it's not a marketing thing. They're legit. So I would say invest in something like that, you know, good bibs, a good coat, and bundle in layers so you can take stuff off. The big thing is don't get sweaty right away because then you get cold. Let's see. And I think I saw, oh, Hella said he can join. All right. Help is on the way. Let me see. I'll text it to you, Hella, because that'll probably be easier. I don't know that I still have. Let me see if I still have your address in here. Oh, Rich, I do. Okay. All right. The Mrs. Doubtfire thing is in my head right now. Help is on the way. Anyway, downsize. Yeah. So this is, I don't know what this question was for, but downsize paddle tail, 2.8-inch Kitech. Yeah, little paddle tails are great right now. I had a video a few weeks ago of me just throwing around it was actually on that St. Croix rod that I was talking about. Some little paddle tails that I had. It's a great way to go out and catch fish, you know, especially if they're pushing and looking for bait. Suspended jerk baits, awesome. Ned rig is another one actually that I've got in here. Snowing here in Wisconsin. Yeah, dude, it was snowing here too, Ruben. I don't want to see it. I don't like it. People saying, what's up, Rich? Debo. Is the Power Pro Maximus thin braid junk? Okay, so the Power Pro Max Quattro is what I was using earlier this year for frog stuff, and I broke off like 3 times, and I took it off. Wasn't a fan of it. Had people say it's really good on like spinning rods where you're not doing like jarring, shocking hook sets. I didn't like it for that. I hate to say it's bad because, I mean, Power Pro makes good line, but I didn't have good luck with the Max Quattro. Not for heavier stuff, hard hook sets, but spinning could be completely different. Let's see. You need to do. Oh, okay. Actually, so this is funny. Westfall Outdoors. I'm not supposed to bring any of this up. So technically, I'm not bringing any of this up. I didn't say anything on my live. I'm not supposed to talk about any of this yet, but the good folks at Monster Bass reached out to old Debo. There may be something pretty cool coming in the future. Not that I would say anything about it, and not that anything was said here about it. However, there could be a link to a DEBO'S specific box, hypothetically, where I pick lures. I'm pretty excited about it, but you didn't hear it from me. Let's see. Oh yeah, Omnia Fishing. Somebody was saying. I think that's Omnia has the Dobyns stuff. I think that's where Rich was saying earlier. So actually, here's another. That's 3 questions in a row almost. And we got our Googan question that we'll answer after that. So do you try any Dobyns rods? Yes, absolutely. The Fury, you've probably heard the Fury rods are great. They are. I've got 3 of those, I think. The Champion XP, I've absolutely loved. That is, I'll do another share here. I feel like it's better to show you all. But they are, so if we go to casting rods and go to Dobyns, the Champion XP, so I think they're like 200. Yeah, 200 I think is the one I got. Except mine's a split grip. This awesome rods. I got them when they had the 25% off sale, so I think they're 20% off now on Omnia. I don't know if there's another one. American Legacy. Gramps, does American Legacy have these on sale too? Maybe that's who had them 20-something% off. Anyway, awesome rod. Really, really like mine. Rich recommended this one. And it's a $200 rod. They've got $300-$400 rods, but like Rich said, like it's kind of diminishing returns. Like some of the more expensive rods are a little bit better, but like for the money, I think this is what he said. And if he hops on here, I think he'd probably back that up, that these are one of their best rods, like for the price. I have really, really liked it. Then I also got, and he's in here. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. What's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah, you're live. You're on. You're in.
It's my first time being live, so I'm not used to it,
We were just talking about some of the Dobyns. The Champion XP, I was saying you turned me onto that one, and I like that one a lot.
Yeah, those are, I mean, at that $260 price point, they're pretty hard to beat, and you can usually find a deal. Like, I think we did that special with American Legacy, and it was like 20% off, and then a bonus,
like
25% off. My code, I think.
Yeah.
And now I think.
And I forgot all about the Caden too.
Yeah.
The Caden I've absolutely loved. That was in my latest casting test. If you guys want to see that in action,
that's right.
Love that rod.
I was actually watching that video when I was dropping off the tin boat the other day, and I noticed you selected the Caden.
It's a great do-it-all rod. I forget which one exactly I got. It would have been in, I'm guessing 7-1 medium heavy. Really, Stubby Dog? Yeah, so it's 180, and if you get 20% off that, again, good deal. So
yeah, so Omnia's running an early Black Friday sale through Sunday or Monday. Yeah, I think it's Monday through the 15th, and they have the code early 20 right at the top of their page, and so like you can get a Dobyns rods, you can get all the stuff you can normally get, code exclusions on Shimano, Megabass, Daiwa, things like that, but like all the other things you can get 20% off, tackle, line, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to jump, that's a good place if you want to beat the rush when everybody else goes up, next week. So.
Is it coming down at a certain time? Do you know? So expires 11/15. Oh, there you go. Good thing we just said that. I will show you guys in case you've never shopped over there. I've put in a few orders with them, and they have been good people to deal with. Let's see. Hopefully everybody doesn't mind the screen jumping, but I feel like it helps in case you've never been to one of these places or never heard of them. But this is Omnia. They're kind of cool. Like their whole theory, or I guess like the deal behind it is they have like certain lakes, so you can fish by lake. So I suppose it's good if you have larger lakes. Around here, some of the stuff has been kind of like I feel like it's pretty, normal stuff. But if you just put that aside and just shop, you can just shop like regular too. So they have early 20 expires up there 20% off. So yeah, Dobyns, really any of that stuff, like you said, except for like the Daiwa, Shimano, Megabass, whatever the normal exclusions are that don't do that. Tyler, hook sets are free in the house. What's up, Debo? What is up, Tyler?
Somebody asked, I think they missed it in the chat. They asked about the new Dobyns Maverick rods. I can't see the comment anymore, but they're brand new. And I think they're coming in under the Fury. So they're like 90 or $100. They were announced in the newsletter, but I haven't actually seen them yet.
Oh, and I had the Colt too. I forgot all about that. I actually like the Colt a lot for a chatterbait rod. It's not the most sensitive. It was a little bit more bendy. But for a moving bait like that, to me, those are perfect. You don't want like a super, like crazy sensitive, because people will talk about, pulling it out of their mouths, or like they get it and it loads up for a little bit before you set into them. Randissel's actually got that rod now, and he really likes that one too. So,
so I'm not sure if the Mavericks are going to be just above the Colts or if they're going to replace the Colts. I'm not sure. They're also coming out with combos and reels. So Dobyns is coming out with reels as well.
Let's see. Gosh, I am so far behind. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I think John is the next one in line. No question, just dropping some dough to help out. Well, Mr. Hancock, I always appreciate that, brother. Thank you, sir.
Awesome, John.
Good supporter of the channel as well. Oh, we got a bunch of OGs and good folks in here tonight. This is fun. 280 people in here. Y'all are killing it. I absolutely love all you guys.
You get
gals. whoever.
DEBO'S milkshake brings the boys to the yard. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty handsome, so that's usually why people come here. Okay, so let's dig back in the box. This is I got a couple other things that kind of go together because some of the things I'm not sold on, and some of them you can use in multiple ways. So I kind of picked a couple things. Was that all for Finesse? Oh, I did have some of these. So these were from my guy Chris, who hand makes plastics. I'm throwing some of those in. They're kind of like a plum dark, almost like a tequila sunrise, but some jig trailers for you. He sent in a bunch of plastics. He just likes making them and sending a ton to me to support me to throw in giveaways. So those for your jigs. I think that was it for that side of stuff. Okay, so did I talk about the Chatterbait yet? I don't think I did. Okay, I got one of those in there too. So the next one kind of goes all together. So I've got a couple. The quivers have been, for missile baits, my favorite Nico rig bait. Love these things. And it's very similar to, you can just use like a 4 or 5 inch stick bait if you want. But you can also just wacky rig these. You know, putting the hook just in the middle. So I'm throwing a couple of these in. These are from Primary Tackle. My guy, Philip Cheek. I don't know if he's in here. Super good supporter of the channel. Awesome guy. I'm throwing those in, and I'm assuming people already have EWG hooks. Even if you're starting out, those are pretty normal. But some hooks that you can use for these. Now, I'm not a fan of these. However, I know a lot of people like them, and they are weedless. So for a beginner to not get hung up, they do work really well for that. I noticed the bigger size is better. I've used the size 1. I hate them. The Fiat is better for me, the bigger hook, but I still have a hookup deal on it. But these have like a little wire, if you can't tell.
Get the weedless, get the VMC weedless Nico instead.
So actually, I didn't have any small packs of those, but what I was going to throw in for you also is
those are
the
good
Mustad,
too.
which is pretty much the exact same thing. It's got like a thick fluorocarbon weedless deal on it for you. Really, really nice hooks. I like those a lot. And in case you're not a fan of those, I threw in some of the nice Eagle Claws. I used these last year. Really nice because they've got like the big keeper on them. And for Eagle Claw, I know people kind of scoff at those, but the Laser Sharp, I've used their hooks and stuff. You can get them at Walmart. I don't know why people make fun of them because they're good hooks. I mean, they're just as good as anything else out there. They're a little bit lighter wire. So like if you get like the regular hooks, they're not, you know, super heavy. But you just keep that in mind when you're fishing them. Just fish them like a lighter wire hook and you're fine. So these heads, really good heads, and they're also weedless too. So I've tried to keep that in mind for beginners. I know hanging up is a pain. So those kind of all go together. The Nico, the Wacky, and kind of the Ned rig. You can kind of interchange all those. Awesome bank fishing beginner baits. So those will be in the giveaway.
Yeah. In general, I don't like the Mosquito, the Circle, any hooks that kind of come back on themselves. I feel like they skin hook the fish on the inside of their mouth, especially the bigger fish, and you tend to lose them. I like the O'Shaughnessy style, the straight shank hooks, whether it's the Mustad Titan X or the VMC or the rebarb hook. There's a bunch of them out there, but yeah. So for those that love wacky rig fishing, I strongly encourage getting away from those Circle octopus style hooks. In the long run, I think you're going to thank us.
So no Googan Baits. Dang it, I forgot. Somebody else brought it up earlier. What about Googan? Every single live we get a question on it, and it absolutely makes me laugh because I don't remember what it was. Randall and I were making fun of Googan stuff, like just making fun of it. Not that we hate it, but we were like, because every live, you either have to be 100% all Googan fan or 100% you have to hate them. Again, like the drama, you know, there's the drama out there. Whoever. I wonder what fancy bass boat guy was that. You was that you in disguise talking about me being the fancy bass boat guy saying bank anglers suck?
No,
oh,
actually,
okay.
I think it's genius because there's a lot more people that fish from the bank and fish from small crafts than fish from bass boats. So from an audience size, it's actually genius to be, you know, where you're at. Like there's a lot more people that want to learn and are interested and start the way you fish than the way I fish normally. I mean, I do some bank fishing and do some of that stuff, but like primarily I'm fishing out of a bass cat or whatever. And like that limits, like there's a lot of people that are like, psh,
yeah,
like,
for
whatever.
sure.
I can't like think of all the people that are just trying to get started fishing from culverts, fishing from bridges, fishing from banks. They
So
can't
much
relate
fun.
to what I'm doing. So
yeah.
it's like, and
yeah, it goes both
you
ways.
start.
It's funny, but Googan, yeah, I like Googan stuff. The Trench Hog, I really like it. Actually, Randizzle, we share stuff back and forth. a lot, and has been using the small trench hogs. I didn't even know they made them, but they make a smaller size that he's kept it secret as his Chatterbait trailer. So if you're into that, I would try those. I know people like the Bandito bug and stuff, but no, I don't have anything against the Googans. It comes up literally every single stream. That just shows how popular and how much they've done in, the fishing marketing, fishing YouTube, and I think that's why so many people hate him. Again, it's jealousy. I talk about that. It's, people want to be where they're at, and they're like, oh, they're just kids, and they're working their butts off.
Low-key marketing geniuses is what they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Whether you like their baits or their stuff or not, they're marketing geniuses. And yeah, you can make the case that a lot of their baits are Me Too's, but there's a lot of other brands that do a lot of Me Too's too. So
yeah, and that's the thing with fishing above a lot of other things. And I guess you see it in sports because it's not necessarily brand loyal, but it's like team loyal. But fishing is so brand loyal, and you hear that's actually one of the reasons I never had Shimano stuff growing up or for a long time, was because Dad and I always joked the guys that would spend all the expensive money on Shimano at the time, I wouldn't use this or that. Quantum was big back in the day. I'm a Shimano guy. You always hear I'm a this guy, and it's just brand loyalty. There's nothing wrong with that. But fishing is very, very brand loyal. You say something wrong about Yum or Zoom, Strike King, whoever it is, and you're a fan of it, people get upset with that.
It's just like people that get upset when Dodge versus Chevy versus Ford. It's the same thing.
Sports teams, yep. So speaking of chatterbaits, maybe I did talk about this already. I don't remember. Anyway, the cross-eyes chatterbait has truly become one of my favorites, specifically for bank fishing. Now, you could argue the Thunder Cricket or Jackhammer, they might be slightly better. Fine. However, the thing about this one is it's got 2 wire guards right here. And actually, I've got one. This is going to Burley. This is one I already set up with the, speak of a cool plastic. I don't have any of these to throw in right now, but the Missile Baits Mini D-Chunk. This thing is sick. I can't wait.
Yeah, I saw that in your video the other day. I was like, that looks spicy. I want to try some of those. It
does. It's flat. And that's another thing is even if you're throwing a regular chatterbait, I think it was 10 Horse Monty that shared that tip with me. He has been using flatter trailers on here instead of something round where it can roll, something flat. So if it comes over like a piece of wood or whatever, it's going to tend to sit like this. And that's not me holding it. That's just because it's flat. It's got more surface area there to sit like that.
That's 100% real. That's a thing.
Yeah, and I that never even crossed my mind, and that's why you can learn from anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. If they're a bank, 10 Horse Monty, he fishes out of a 10 rig, right? He's not fishing out of an $80,000 Phoenix, and that's a great tip right there. So that's why I always learn from everyone, Yeah.
So if you're fishing around brush, wood, thick cover, fish 2 things: a bait that's flat on one side and rig it horizontal. If it's got a little body, little arms, right, the body of that hook or the body of the plastic is going to give you a little more clearance as that hook goes by, because the chatterbait does want to do this, right, when it's vibrating back there.
Yep.
And then when that flat comes over, it keeps it level. If you throw a little swim bait or a fluke or a spunk shad or a quiver, then when it's going to roll more, which in open water you want because you get a little more action out of it. But in thick cover, it's going to roll more naturally and expose the hook, and you've got less plastic blocking it. And then when you come over cover with that round or V-bottomed, it will naturally want to roll, and you're going to hook that limb every time. So,
Yep. So yeah, the cross eyes specifically for those wire deals. And Randy makes fun of me because I always tell him, make sure you're checking your wires, because after you catch a fish, those do bend. So just be aware of that. You want to make sure you bend them back. But love those chatterbaits. Huge fan of them. Big proponent. I will preach that for a long time. These things are awesome at not getting snagged all the time for bank anglers. So,
yeah, but in that open water, you could rig that D chunk vertically too.
Sure.
Give yourself a little more bluegill profile and a little different action. So,
yep.
Yeah. So I more open water. When I want the bait to go deeper, I'll rig my trailers vertical or a skinny thin trailer. And when I'm in heavier cover and I want the bait to rise up, I'll rig it flat. So that's the 2 main differences.
Yep, we were talking about that too, or just going lighter. A lot of people say with the 3/8 ounce, either they're too light or they've got something like a big paddle tail that's helping bring it up. You can go with something a little bit heavier, or like you said, something more streamlined or thinner. Jeff Maxwell, hey Debo, you got an FX Extreme Angler rod. You did a good unboxing, but I haven't seen you fish it or comment on it again. I have fished it multiple times. That was one of the biggest fish I caught this year. If you go look at my Missile Baits D-bomb video, I was fishing out of the old John boat and just going around flipping pitch and wood earlier this year. But I had a few videos using it. I caught a 5.5, I think, just flipping around some brush with a simple D-bomb. I like the rod a ton. That one, I haven't used it as much. The TFO rod and the FX Extreme, I think they have a sale on those too. I should look. I want to say 20 or 25% off early, and it was just on their direct website. So go check them out. TFO, Temple Fork Outfitters. The TFO rod that I have, the what is it, Tactical Bass Elite. I guess I can show you here. Let me go over to my share screen. Oh, I have the wrong one.
Have you bought any of the new X-Zone smaller adrenaline craws yet?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I only got a fish one day. I didn't catch anything. It was kind of a snag, crappy day for the jig, but they're sweet.
I need to, those and the D chunks are on my list to get some for next year.
The D chunks, the mini D or whatever they call it. These things look awesome because Randizzle's such a big fan of the War Eagle. I mean, look at how perfect without adding a bunch of extra. They just look so good on there. I'm gonna have to pick up some extra and have him try them. But if we go over to rods, Temple Fork, which they're a brand that I'm gonna do I feel like a follow-up review on a lot of these. That's a good point. Who was that said that? Jeff. A lot of these that I kind of unboxed and talked about. But their rods, let me see, rods. And if we go to Temple Fork, I don't really hear people talk about them a lot. Ben Nowak and why am I blanking?
Supposedly, Gary Loomis had a hand in designs of those rods at one time.
Lone Star, Fishing the Lone Star. I had to think there for a minute. On Instagram, were the only two guys that I'd really heard talking about them. Again, not a super budget rod, $200. But if you find them on sale, 20% off. Awesome rod. And the cool thing about these is, which I was skeptical, and funny enough, I actually had the chance to talk to the dude that helps design and make these over at TFO. The inside, when I got it, I thought I got a bad one or it was broke because you look at it and they don't have any inserts. So this is like a something dipped electrostatic treated something titanium. I don't remember what the hell the deal was. I've got it written down for when I do the review. Because this one actually I haven't reviewed. I've got a full review coming. But they're stainless steel. So I've broken, I don't know how many. If you look at a regular rod, I'd have to go back there and grab one. They have a gray or a blackish looking insert. And that's if you hear aluminum oxide or SICK inserts. Can't even think of all of them off the top of my head. But it's this material. What's Fuji call them? Alkanite rings inside there. It's this material essentially I don't even know what you call it. Back in the day, they used to be a ceramic. But anyway, if you drop those on concrete, you'll chip those inside inserts. And there was a video, was that last year, where I was talking about that with one that I got where it came shipped when it was chipped. I didn't do anything, but it was already chipped. And when you reel in your lino fray, it'll look like little round fuzzies, if you
they'll even snowball up a little
shave
bit.
Off. Yeah, if you're shaving off wood, like whittling, just messing around with a knife. It was doing that. And these don't have that. These don't have any sort of inserts in them. So I was are they just trying to be cheap? What are they doing? But, the way they talked, it helps save weight because these are titanium. I believe the actual guide is titanium. And then whatever the heck the steel, titanium Minima SV guides from Pack Bay. So it is. It's a super light rod. It's got wing grips on it. Kind of all the stuff you like. I really like the 2-finger reel seat deal here. Yeah, solid stick. I really liked it, and you just don't really hear anybody talking about them. Kind of a under the radar deal. Maybe they're bigger in the South. Temple Fork, was that Texas? I don't know where they're made. Isn't that where, Lake Fork? I don't know. But anyway, hopefully that helps, Jeff. I do like that rod. I do like the FX Extreme. Both good solid sticks.
They should just make guides out of that X-Men metal. That'd be cool, the Wolverine stuff.
Oh, adamantium?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be pretty heavy, I bet, though.
Is it heavy? I
thought it was
super light and strong.
Maybe. I would just figure it'd be maybe. I don't know. He's Wolverine though. Riley says DEBO'S box surprise. It's all Googan. Yeah, dude. I'd pick all Googan for mine. It's a joke. I don't know why people think I hate Googans. Is that the thought here? Tackle Warehouse. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have a sale or not. Tackle Warehouse will have their 20% off on Black Friday.
I believe I heard they are going to have sale.
Are they?
I don't know if it'll be 25%, but I'm pretty sure they'll have a Black Friday sale. It might only be 15 or 20. Might be 25. I don't know.
Good. I'm that far behind.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, whoops. Here.
I saw
Rich,
that Baitman said they'll for sure have a sale, but I just don't know what it will be.
Gotcha. Let's see. What else do we have? I think I've only got a couple. We'll do the box here because we're at 55 minutes.
Yeah, that's the comment I couldn't find. But yeah, that's
I'm
way
so
back.
far behind.
I think we talked about that. Chris, my go-to line, I mostly use Seagar and Sunline. And on like my bottom contacts, strong hook set stuff, I'll use like Seagar Invisix or Sunline. What's their good stuff? The Sniper, sometimes Shooter. But then for my reaction baits, I use a lot of the Sunline Assassin and Seagar Red Label.
Okay, Scott, we'll hit that in just a second. I wanted to bring that up so I don't forget it. I think that's the last donation. Don't want to miss any of the donations. I appreciate those. I don't ever ask for them, but they do help the channel back into giveaways, shipping and stuff. Frog, if you're a bank angler, hands down, I will argue this on a hill. Frog is the best one to start with because you're probably fishing ponds, small lakes, things that are going to end up having grass. Obviously, you've got a lot of wood and such, and these don't hang up.
Yeah, once the water's above 60, Frog's game on.
Yep. You fish a lot of the same stuff I do. Frog, I mean, they're hard to beat. And for me, an all black, 90% of the time, most of the time, I'm just throwing an all black. I've kind of gone back and forth on this through the years. Why can I not get this to... but honestly, an all black, if I could only choose one to fish the rest of my life, it would just be a straight all black. Spro's a great frog. The River to Sea Bullywa 2 I really liked. The Mega Bass Big Gabo I really liked and didn't want to because they're like 20. They're stupid expensive.
Terminator is a good one.
See, I didn't have good luck with the Terminators.
Honestly, the best frog for the money, though, is the
Booyah Pad
Crasher.
I completely agree. I've probably caught more fish on Booyah Pad Crashers than...
And you can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Dick's. Yep. You can get them Shield. I mean, anywhere.
Old Smoky, which is kind of like a translucent. That's a sleeper frog. That frog is awesome. Old Smoky, or just I think it's called Midnight, which is like black and it's got like blue eyes. Awesome frog. So I'll throw that in. And the last thing I have, what was it? Oh yeah, I forgot about this. A crankbait. So a small crankbait and just like a white. This is actually just silver blackback. Some sort of flash like this is great just for getting that reaction. You don't even have to have shad in your lakes or ponds or anything just to get a reaction off a crankbait. So if you've got a pond, they make those man-made ponds that are all riprap on one side, dam side, sometimes even all the way around them. But if you've got riprap and stuff to fish, a little bandit like this is a 100, only goes 2 to 5 feet. And remember, if you're using mono and a bigger mono, it's going to keep that up higher in the water column. So if you're going with like 6-pound fluorocarbon, that's going to get way, way down there, as opposed to like 15-pound fluorocarbon is going to keep it up higher in the water column. So you can adjust your diving depth with the size line you're using. So keep that in mind as well. But bandits, I like those. And then I threw in a Tackle Warehouse sticker because I don't really use stickers, but if you've got a new Plano or something, there you go.
You should wrap your John boat in all Tackle Warehouse.
Hey, check
many
it out.
unboxing videos as Debo does. He should just line the entire boat with like
Tackle Warehouse, wrap my boat. Check it out. $10,000 wrap.
What a thumbnail.
Oh my God. Tackle Warehouse, wrap my boat for free.
Everybody in the chat, yes or no, should Debo wrap his John boat in Tackle Warehouse stickers?
Debo, aren't those just free Tackle Warehouse stickers? Those don't look like a professional wrap. No, trust me. Now I got to get all these back in here. Anyway, I'm going to pick a winner. I will do a Fishing for Gramps random poll. He showed me how to do that, and I thank him so much for that because it is...
You're going to use the StreamYard giveaway here?
Yeah. It is such a headache saver. Oh, funny enough, here we go.
Look at the people. The people are speaking in the chat.
Look at this. I happen to have some of these here. Now, these are not EWG. I honestly don't like flipping hooks. I go EWG 90% of the time for weedless. But these will work, and those will fit the 4-inch Pit Boss Perfect. Those are 4-aught, so those will actually be perfect. I've got those sitting there.
Fish Daddy 401. We should all send our extra Tackle Warehouse stickers to Debo. So
oh gosh, do not get that started. I'm gonna go to my PO box, and they're gonna be like, "You had a whole bunch of stuff. We had to put it to the side here." And it's going to be boxes of stickers.
And then we need a quilt maker to take all Debo's Tackle Warehouse t-shirts and make them into a quilt.
I've actually
so you can stay warm in those cold Iowa nights.
Yeah, there we go. For when I forget my,
you could like wrap yourself in it on the stream and be like,
oh my gosh! See, this is now the people are going to start commenting. See, this is why I don't like the lives. They get all off topic and a bunch of nonsense. That's the fun of the lives.
Yeah,
get back and enjoy.
No, the lives are all about the community and hanging out and building relationships, and that's why I love watching them. That's why I love doing them. So
I feel like you get more of a snapshot of like what the person's actually like. Like I wish more pros did it, because I feel like there's a bunch of people.
They do a lot of them on Instagram and Facebook on their personal pages and stuff. They're a little less discoverable, but.
Yeah, I need to. Okay, so let's do a quick giveaway. That way, anybody that's just hanging out for the giveaway that wants to get out or has to get out of here, because you do have to be present for the giveaway. I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah, sorry, Fishing friends. You can't just hop on and hopefully get it sometime here soon. So where is my other screen? Let's go here and let's go StreamYard giveaway.
Do you got a clever hashtag that you're going to enter in? Have you thought about this?
No, I haven't.
Oh boy. How about Hawks? Maybe Hawkeyes?
Hashtag. We're gonna make it kind of fun here. What I'm giving away is
hashtag stickers, hashtag wrap, hashtag.
It's a bank fishing box. So hold on, it's gonna be a hashtag bank box, because that's what we're giving away here tonight, Fishing friends.
Ooh, somebody says hashtag helladinks.
If we fish together, that's what it would be. Oh, Royce or Hoyce. I don't know. Are you Brazilian? Would be Hoyce. Cornhuskers. That'll get you banned talking about that crap.
I almost I was going to reach out to you, but I ended up not coming through Iowa until late at night. But there was a scenario where I may have came through Des Moines in the middle of the day, and I was going to reach out to see if we could fish, but
oh dang, yeah, that's
didn't
like
work
a 3 hour something drive for me.
Instead, I was just watching your stream and eating Taco Bell as I drove.
I'm not mad at that. So if you're new to the channel, to the lives, as you can see what's going on in the comment section, type hashtag bank box. I'm going to go through and try to scroll up and get to a couple questions while we're going through this, give everybody time.
What's fun about these drawaways with the end of you see these people commenting with hashtags that you're like, I didn't know that person was in the chat. They don't say anything. And then all of a sudden there's like, oh, there's free stuff. I'll chat.
Go figure. Yes, wrap it up.
That's a fun name.
Oh my gosh. There's so many people saying yes.
Bank Bass Better. That's a fun name. Sluggo 721. That's a cool name.
Oh,
it doesn't work to repeat the hashtag. I see a couple people repeating that.
Yeah, it doesn't. You'd only have to enter it once because it takes out all the
duplicates.
Yeah, duplicates. I didn't even think about that. I will throw in a cotton. I'll go find one. I'll throw in a cotton Cordell Super Spot lipless, because that is truly one of the best bank lures to it. They're like $2.
Yeah, I heard somebody say, one of the pros really liked the cotton Cordell, especially for shallow water, because they felt like a half-ounce cotton Cordell spot fished like a quarter-ounce other lipless crankbait.
Oh, that's interesting. I just like him for bank fish.
You get the profile of a bigger bait, but it fishes shallow like a lighter bait.
Doesn't go as fast. See, I don't remember what I was throwing the other day, but I felt like maybe it was the other way around. I'll actually have to test that. One of them I was throwing sunk way slower, and it might have actually been the cotton Cordell that fished slower that way, dropping. As opposed to like a red eye.
I see Austin McColeman has asked you twice now, should I get a Corrado or a 13 Muse rod? Me, I would go Corrado rod. I don't know what you think.
I just got one of the new Corrado rods. Feels pretty good. Haven't got to fish it yet. But I want to do a review on it and show everybody, because I've gotten a bunch of questions on those. The 13 Muse, is that the $200 and something rod?
I don't know. The guy that fishes team tournaments with me has had a lot of 13 rods break on him, so I don't know.
Really? Funny enough, I had somebody sent me the thing where, because I was talking about the green Let's go ahead and draw. So I'll give everybody to the count of 10 here, essentially in my
I
head.
saw Retro Bassin in the house.
Oh, Retro. I need to get him on for a live. He would be a ton of fun.
I DM'd him a couple times, and then we lost track. So, yeah, that would be a fun one.
And G-Fan with the donation. We'll answer this real quick. This is my late fee for signing on late. G-Fan, always better late than never, brother. I appreciate you. Another good supporter of myself and Burley.
Austin, you can stop pasting that question because we've answered it twice.
Yeah, Austin, I would go with, I mean, most of the Shimano stuff, I would say I've been really surprised by the Shimano. And I got in a fight with the guy. Well, I shouldn't say a fight, but a discussion, because he was saying, I forget what rod I was talking about. He's like, my Shimano's better. You know, these are all made in Japan, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you should actually check that rod, because the rods are made in China. I don't know of all of them, but all the way up to the X-Bride, at least, is made in China. But they make good rods, make very good rods. The what's the black and red one I really like, and I think at the price it is one of the best. It's 120. Intenza, is that it? The Shimano Intenza, I believe. Let me look here real quick. That's gonna drive me nuts, and I'll pick a winner. Casting rods. I want to say the Intenza. It's 120 bucks. Shimano. I need to do a review on that one too. I'm so far behind on product reviews. It's not even funny. Yeah, the Intenza. So I would say that one too if you're looking to save just a little bit. But the new Karada rod feels good. I haven't got to fish it yet, but it does feel good. I haven't used the 13 use though.
Don't look now, but you're over 300 live viewers.
Woo! 310. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate it. All right. Well, if you're just joining, hashtag Bankbox. I'm going to draw a winner here. And 10, 9. I'm not going to actually count all the way down, but type it in. Here we go. Michael, where's the Dizzle? And Paul Cargo Kilt video. Dizzle had to drop out for tonight. He had other plans. His lady friend. I mean, I'm telling y'all, slowly, I'm losing Dizzle. We're gonna get a challenge. We're gonna fish against Burley and Paul next year. We're gonna make that happen. Good dudes. Okay, here we go. Bank fishing box. We're drawn.
Yeah, you and I need to like mate at Prairie du Chien or something and go frogging on the river.
Oh, dude, I am certainly down. Can everybody see this? Am I sharing? Doesn't it think I? Hey, Trevor Wagner. Trevor's a good supporter.
Looks like he's got a sweet little yak in his profile pic, maybe.
Yeah, look at that. With the sweet yak sunset. Hopefully that's not because he didn't catch any fish that day, Trevor.
Yeah, bros before rook hose, Chris says.
Chris is another IO guy. I need to get out with you, Chris, next year too. Trevor, he's in here. All right, Trevor, hit me up on Instagram. If you need my email, I think we've talked on Instagram before, right? If that's the same Trevor I'm thinking of. Hit me up on Instagram. Special thanks to Fishing with Gramps for showing me this. It is an absolute freaking lifesaver, because then I don't have to think of random questions and stuff. All right, let's see. So we went through the box of goodies, bank fishing goodies. What other questions do you all have? You have me and Hella here, so you can get two different perspectives. You're getting your money's worth. We've got 315 people on. Man, y'all are awesome.
I love it when Critical Gravy always starts the hashtag gravy.
Here's good. Dude, Critical Gravy. Did I don't think I sent that to you. Or you sent it to me. I sent it to Randizzle, but the picture that was going around on Instagram of that people's wedding that had biscuits in a big huge bowl, and then it had a gravy fountain, sausage biscuits and gravy.
I saw that.
I was like, oh my gosh, I want one of these in my house. But Ruben, what's the difference between rods, reels, stuff made in Japan or China? So from the people that I've talked to in the industry, it's a lot better now, because and I can't get into like all the specifics because I've never actually been there and seen, but essentially what folks say is if you have, like Shimano or Daiwa, an actual factory in Japan, you're going to get a lot higher quality, better, because it's their own actual factories they're making stuff, right? So they've got complete full oversight what's going on. But from what I understand, so if you look at some of the other ones like, Doyo, Banak, some of the other companies, which are even like Korean, they have like a Korean and a Chinese side of it. They still have a lot of say of like what's going on. So it's not like the company just makes it and it's a crapshoot. Like they get to work with the company and dial these things in. But essentially, instead of being one place building it, they're building all these different things next to each other. So you could have Abu being made right next to a Lew's, being made right by, Bass Pro stuff. So usually people say you're not going to get as good a quality, but I mean, the way stuff is made now, like, what are you going to say, Rich?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think you can just say it's that simple as China or Japan or Korea or US or Mexico, right? Because in all those countries, there are companies that have very good relationships with certain factories where they are designing products and, having things made to their specs very specifically. Then on the flip side, there are companies that are buying the same exact thing as everybody else is and putting their brand sticker on it and calling it their own. So you really need to kind of look at it more on a case-by-case scenario versus just like China is better than Japan or Japan's better this or that kind of stuff.
I agree. Yep, I completely agree.
Like, if it's made in Japan, it's probably going to cost a little more because their labor is expensive, much like the U.S. Now, if you want to go on the political side of thing, right, obviously there's, depending on your thoughts on China and tariffs and all that stuff and political views, that's a whole nother argument. The thing is, even things that are made in the U.S., most of the components come from overseas. So I don't know, whatever. Like,
yeah, it's tough. And that's the funny thing is, like, some people will just argue it like if it's there, it's better. And I'm not saying Shimano and Daiwa definitely have great stuff. I mean, they're at the top for a reason. They've been doing it a long time. But just because something's made, in one of the other factories, I wouldn't just say it's crap. A lot of people say that, but
yeah, maybe you just need to look a little more careful depending on what country it came from.
Yeah, or try it out. Yeah, I mean, try something if you're, kind of on the rope about it. Try the Shimano BFS. I've got a ton of questions on this yet. I don't know if you mean the Corrado. I don't have the Corrado BFS. I may have gotten my hands on secretly the SLX BFS, which, I mean, it's not really secret, but somebody hooking me up. Because I went out with Randizzle. I've got a trout fishing video coming. We went out and fished for some trout. Fun day. I was throwing my ultralight, but I also had the Dobyns. Oh, actually, that's another Dobyns that I have. The Dobyns Sierra whatever ultralight casting rod, which is like one of the only ones I can find here in the States because I didn't want to order off of like Wish or Alibaba or whatever the other ones are that like I'm not confident in ordering from those. Like they kind of feel sketchy. But I paired that up with the old Cernoia reel, and it's like an old school BFS that I got off of Amazon quite some time ago. And I was going fine with it. Little 1/8 ounce inline spinner. Didn't catch anything on it, and then I caught a tree behind me and snapped the line and blew the reel up. So awesome.
So all in all, a good day.
Yeah, but I've heard the reason I was saying that, Hafa, is I've heard the new BFS reels are way better than like the old Cernoia. That's kind of like old technology from what I've heard. I don't know. I am not an expert on this. I would go look up the Reel Test. He does a ton of BFS stuff. Jimmy, why can't I think of his Jimmy Lee? Why can't I think of his name, his Instagram name? He does a bunch of BFS stuff. I can't think of his name now. I'm having a complete block, but I don't know. It's like even when I was out fishing with Randizzle, throwing that, it's just like I would just rather throw an ultralight. Like I was throwing a little 1/16 ounce on my little ultralight spinning rod and had zero issues at all. So it's like why tempt fate with like when you get that small with lures? I don't know. Some people just like it.
I don't love spinning rods, but I don't hate them. So to me, BFS is just for ultra finesse when you hate spinning rods too much where you don't want to. But like, I guess I used to hate spinning rods a lot more before I went to braid to fluoro. But now that I fish braid to fluoro, I don't have the issues with spinning rods that I used to.
It's RAR fishing. I completely couldn't remember what his Instagram was. Yeah, he does a ton with that stuff. Those guys know way more than me, and I'm sure there's other channels that do a lot of BFS stuff. I'm not your guy. I'm not going to pretend. There's some channels I feel like that just pretend like they know everything. Like if I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know it. I don't know BFS.
Critical Gravy BFS stands for bait cast finesse system or bait finesse system or something like that.
Yep. Oh yeah, online outdoors one. Ethan, he's a super good guy. I want to try to get him on it as well. Good dude. He's if you look up Mule Fishing, if you're into like BFS reels and stuff, he's made Mule Fishing, and they make like tiny. I don't have any around here, but like 1/32nd, 1/50th, 1/40th, or whatever Ned rig heads for fishing like his little mule swim baits. So they're really cool. I know the Burley guys are huge on them. I was on their live Thursday night, and far and away, he said that was his most producing bait this year. Burley did, which was surprising to me. I guess I didn't realize he fished it that much, but they had a lot of good things to say about Ethan's those little Ned rigs and the swimmers. Let's see what else. Texas rig. Carson Texas rig got my last PB. Yeah, the Texas rig is like for bank angling. It's just such a good deal. You can go with Croix. You can flip and pitch a big, huge worm in the summer. You can do a little finesse Texas rig, especially around spawn, a little finesse, like a little 4-inch stick bait when they're kind of spooky. There's so many different ways you can do it. It works. So let us know what we got. I don't know what, maybe 5, 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes. I don't know how long you got, Rich. I'll answer a few more questions if we got them. We still got 300 people in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do we not have more questions coming in? It doesn't necessarily have to be for bank fishing now. We got Rich. We'll consider him our resident expert. I'm just a dumb bank guy.
Tackle Geek 101. Best reel for the money. Me, of the reels that I have fished lately, I will give the nod to the SLX XT. Now, I know it didn't perform the best in distance in DEBO'S recent video.
That's a whole different, and that's something I want to talk about.
I still think it's a very smooth, solid, and sturdy and strong reel for that $130. I think it's a really great reel.
I completely agree, and that's something I want to do kind of a follow-up and talk of that, because casting distance is only one small portion of the first thing you have to do is hold it. And if any of those reels don't feel good to you in hand, don't even waste your time with it. If 9 out of 10 people say it's the best reel, if it's uncomfortable and doesn't fit your hand well, you're not going to want to fish it, and you're going to end up putting it down and going over to something else. Even if it's a $500 reel, I don't care. Number one is comfort. But yeah, you've got, how does it flip and pitch? How easy, can you throw a lure? Distance, you've got, how easy is it to adjust? It might cast 200 and some feet, but if it's a booger to get adjusted every other time you switch a lure, it's not worth it. The Revo SX, I want to put more time in with it. That won my casting test. Like I said, Amazon, if you're just new to the stream now, Amazon has them on sale for, I think, $99 right now. Regularly, they're $160, the Abu Garcia Revo SX reel. Casted, and I mean, it was easy to tune in. I haven't put a ton of time in with it, and I kind of feel bad now. I've harped on it before, the Luz LFS, $99 reel. Again, used to be made in China, the old one that I had for 6 years now. Now they're made in Korea, but I think it's one of the best $100 reels you can get. Like I was saying before, the Abu Garcia Revo Max X, which is a $59 reel, I've been really impressed with. The Daiwa Tatula CT is probably also one of my favorites, right around that price at like 120. So just a few examples. But yeah, I've liked all the SLX reels, and I was honestly really surprised because the regular SLX, I feel like casts lighter lures really easy, a lot easier than most other bait casters. But when I did like the quarter ounce casting test with that one compared to some of the others, casting a quarter ounce, it didn't win. So, and Shimano's not known for that. Like if you ask people, Shimano's not known to be like the biggest, best casting distance reels. But like Rich said, they feel really good in hand. Their tolerances are good. They don't feel cheap. They feel sturdy. So, there's more to the picture than just how far can I sling this.
Speaking of 10 Horse Monty, I feel like we talked about him earlier. He's in the chat.
Hey, we did. I think 10 Horse, was that you that told me the secret on the I think that was Gabe that told me that the
chatter trailer, the jig.
Yes, the secret with the flat trailer on a. Oh, did I throw that chatterbait in there? Hopefully I didn't. Oh no, here it is. Was that you that shared the secret of using a flat bottom on the chatterbait to help it come up over wood and stuff? That was something I hadn't heard until you talked about it, and I think that is a great tip, good sir. Let's see, what else do we have? Return my Tatula CT, stiff reel, not smooth at all. See, that's the other funny thing is like, mine is great. I got a Daiwa Tatula Elite, and Tackle Junkie talks about that as being one of his best ones. Mine needed grease on the gears. Mine came bone dry.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Daiwas are known to come. Wait, actually, I thought I've ever heard that normally Daiwas come over grease.
I had other people tell me that at the Elite too.
Not enough. I don't know.
I think it might be.
It's one way or the other. I don't remember.
I had multiple people tell me to take it apart and check it, and mine was
so that
bone
could have
dry.
been like.
So.
Yeah, no, it is. Daiwa's come dry, and then Shimano's are typically over greased, so sometimes you got to clean them and then take some of it out.
SLX MGL, yeah, I need to do a review on that one too. That's another one I got lined up. But I actually really like that reel. It casts. I remember the first time I took that out last year and casted with it. It feels really free, and it's one of those reels that feels like weird when you first use it. I've got to feel like that. The Concept Z Slide from 13 Fishing felt that way, and actually this one, my favorite reel of the year. Definitely not a budget reel. Speaking of Daiwa, it's the Zillion SVTW. Freaking love that thing, but it's like a $300 reel. So, but if you can find it on sale, let's
see. Is that the new Zillion?
Yeah. Yep. They're sick reels. Absolutely.
I think I might splurge this winter and get get a Zillion and put it on an Ecstasy or something like that, and just have
go crazy.
Just
That's
go
like
crazy.
Gramps fishing with Gramps. What was that? Gramps the
Steez. To get a Steez rod or something like that.
Steez rod with the why can I not think of it? The SV whatever Tatula limited edition where they only made like 2,000 of them. It's a sick looking combo. Oh yeah, even Gramps said right there, Daiwas come dry. Gotta lube them. Gotta give them a little lube love. Oh, and see, here's another one. So, Fantasy said, I hate my Daiwa Tatula 100. That's like one of the best light lure casting reels, I think. $150. But I've had multiple people say they don't think it's the most comfortable. I don't know what you don't like about it, but I would be interested to see, do you not like the feel of it? Does it feel kind of squarish? That's what I've heard from a lot of people compared to like people talking about the SLXs. All the SLX reels are super low profile, real small, and I think a lot of people like that feel, of that smaller bait caster. Let's see what else. SLX XT. Yeah, mine. So Chris, the funny thing about my XT, it feels super solid in hand. I really like it, but there's like one little weird squeak, and I haven't taken it all the way down yet. But like it needs lube somewhere because it has like this one little weird off squeak that drives me up a wall. And that's obviously the reason I haven't used it much. And it pisses me off because I can't find it. So I need to just take it all the way down and do a full clean. And
I only have one of them and I didn't have any issues with it. But
no, I mean, I haven't had any issues with it. And it feels really good in hand. It's a really comfortable reel. Yeah, I wouldn't have any second thoughts of recommending it to anybody.
I saw somebody ask, like, what are we going to get in the sale season or what we're looking at?
Yeah.
I think Chris Russ asked that. I'm probably going to replace a few reels. I'll probably sell a couple of my older reels, maybe like some Crownark CI4s and a few other reels on eBay or whatever, and then I might grab a couple new reels. Otherwise, it'll just be like trying out some of those new X-Zone small adrenaline craws and some D-chunks and just some kind of minor stuff. I might swap out a few rods, upgrade, but nothing major.
Yeah, I honestly don't really have anything on my list. I've bought so much this year. Like as time goes through, I always put a portion of like my YouTube stuff. It's not a ton, but I put a portion of that specifically to gear. And I mean, that's basically the money from this goes back into the channel. So I buy lots of gear. But yeah, I don't really have anything like that I've been looking for that I'm just dying to try.
Fish in the Southeast. Yeah, if you're interested in one of them, just send me a DM on Instagram or somewhere. And when I get ready to sell one, if you want it, I'll let you have first crack at it.
Nicholas, that's an interesting point. I don't know if you're talking about favorite the brand or if you're saying it's one of your favorites for something else that was going on, but the whole favorite thing was kind of interesting. They had, speaking of the Googans, they had, all the Googans on as like pro staff and they had all their specific rods. And I don't hear anything out of favorite now. I think they sponsor a couple of the pros, but like they completely fell off. And I don't know if that's because of the marketing power of the Googans and everything that they had. We talked about the Googans before. They always get brought up on lives. But you know, I mean, that I think that's really something to tip your hat to, is the power that they have as a marketing, you know, group. Like, I literally don't. Do you hear about favorite stuff anymore? Like,
I mean, I don't hear as much for sure. I do. I mean, they still. I think like Scott Martin and Mark Daniels and who's the other guy that runs with them from the goofy guy, Dustin Cannell. Those guys all run favorite still. So there's some tournament like they still work with like a handful of pros. There's not Matt Becker and a few others. So I see them there, but other than that, I don't hear about them. I mean, you still see them when you walk through Dick's Sporting Goods, right? They're all over the place, but
I haven't been into a store like that forever. I'm a hermit now.
Oh, Sean Lai showed up. You know you've made it when Sean Lai shows up in your stream.
Sean, what's your nickname? It would have to be something like "I'm not gonna," or "Trust me, I don't." Sean, trust me, I don't lie. Dad joke. Tin Horse. No, I haven't tried that one, but I want to. Is that the one that looks like the?
I heard it's got a really unique material. Like it's.
Yeah, like super durable. It looks like the. Why can't I think of what they're called? Stanley, like the. Not the ribbit. Why can't I think of what those are? Like the big toads, the big hollow toads that I throw.
Top
the
toad?
soft plastic. Is it top toad? Is that what it is? I don't remember. Anyway, they look like that, but yeah, they have that super durable, like hollow body look to it. Best ice budget spinning. Wow, am I dyslexic? Aiden says, Tipo, what's the best budget ice spinning setup? Like for ice spinning stuff, I would say, I don't know what you fish for, but if you're doing like micro stuff and not going like the real big fish, I love the 13 Fishing. You could look for one of the sales on like the radioactive pickle or whatever they are. I got mine separate. I got like the tickle stick with the free fall ghost, like the round reels. Like if you're just dropping small jigs and stuff on like an ultralight combo, those things are so nice. I love them. I know some people don't like them. But I would say that just because like if you're working over a flasher, you can just pop that and just get it directly to that depth instead of ripping line off of a spinning reel. I think they're easier. I love them. But I would say look for one of those on sale. Last year they had a bunch on sale. Probably not right now, but otherwise just get like a decent combo. You don't really need anything too crazy for ice fishing, honestly. As long as it's got good drag, that's the only thing. Let's see. Let's answer a couple more. Then I'm getting out of here. I know everybody else probably has other stuff to do, but I thank you all for keeping almost 300 people on here forever. And we got a donation from my guy Dersh. Got to show my support this week. Gonna send you a Mega Bass Vision 110 Junior in GLX Northern Secret, one of my favorite colors. Fun fact: I don't own a single Mega Bass Vision 110 jerkbait. I can't bring myself to spend that much on a jerkbait. Don't own a single one. But Dersh, thank you for the support, brother. You must not be working late tonight, or maybe you are and you took a time out on your break. But I always appreciate you, man. Always supporting and dropping a donation means a lot to me. Patty asked, who has the most tackle, Debo or Tackle Junkie? Tackle Junkie called me out. He's for sure, without a doubt, got way more than me. I don't have much.
I might your guy TJ's definitely got his organized, right? Like it's all like in boxes and on pegs behind them. I've got an obscene amount of tackle in just like boxes and totes that's like really old.
Oh, I think there's a ton of people that fly under the radar like that. They're like, oh, I don't have much. And it's just not.
I got a lot. I'm not going to pretend like I don't have much, but
I like that.
It's not necessarily on display, but there's a lot of it.
Roland Martin. Oh yeah, B-Lat. That's who I was thinking of. Brian Latimer was the only one that I could think of that was a favorite pro. But I guess, yeah, Dustin Connell, now that you say that. Yeah, B-Lat was who I was thinking of. I didn't know Roland was. Roland and Scott, I guess they're with favorite.
Critical gravy, both. You can't go wrong. Doesn't matter whether it's gravy and biscuits or biscuits and gravy.
Yes. Jacob Wheeler has Googan. Yeah, I think he's sponsored by like Googan Baits or something. I don't think he uses Googan rods and such. Maybe that wasn't the question. But, here we go. David, you're talking my language now. Debo, what would be your dream frog setup for bank fishing? So I kind of feel like I'm in the minority here because I hear a lot of like people that I feel like know a lot about gear. A lot more people that I hear recently are talking about a shorter frog stick. I personally don't like a short frog stick. I've used a 7-foot even, and I don't like it. Because usually I'm not flipping, skipping docks and stuff. And even that was, I think, was that last year I was doing that with the Megabass Big Gabo? And that was a 7'2" rod. I've said it before, 7'2" is like my all-time favorite. If I could have all my rods in 7'2", I'd be fine with that for pretty much everything except for like jerk baits and stuff. But a 7'2" to like a 7'4" or 5, I like for frogging. I personally like a heavy. Most heavies are rated up to 1.5 ounces. Fast, but that's just a little bit softer. So as you all know, a heavy fast or medium heavy fast, they're not all the same. Some can be a lot stiffer, but you have to have a little tip if you're throwing a frog to be able to launch it. If it's like an absolute pool cue and has no tip to it, you can't cast worth heck. Randizzle's got one that's a Shields, I think, rod that he got that was like a heavy, but it is so stiff, like there's no tip to it. So that's what I like a 7'2" to 7'5", heavy, fast. I personally don't like to skimp on braid size. 65-pound braid's what I use. People say you can go lower, but it's like, why chance it? It's not that much of a difference. So 65-pound braid. How about you? You frog a lot. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to answer
That's
that
right.
question.
I appreciate
pretty much the same thing. And I guess if you say dream, that means money's not an object.
Right? Yeah, I didn't get
But
into the expensive stuff.
you didn't get into like the
Yeah.
I think what you summed up as far as like I like a 7.3 to 7.4. And like my rods are Dobyns, so typically I'm going to be throwing a mag heavy fast action. And here's one thing, like rod actions are not standardized. There is what one person calls a medium heavy, calls a heavy, calls an extra fast are not the same. So
Dobyns run soft.
And Dobyns run soft. So like for me, it'll be a Dobyns mag 7.3, 7.4 mag heavy fast. And then the Dobyns all do come with a fairly light tip on them, which is good for casting accuracy and skipping. And as far as like bank versus boat, it doesn't really matter. The only time is sometimes I will jump up to a 7.5, 7.6, 7.9 is when I'm fishing really big flats on the river or like rice flats or duckweed flats. But day in and day out, I'm using a 7.3, 7.4, and I can skip under trees and docks just fine with that.
Well, here's a good one. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. I'm catching up on comments. God, that's the only part I hate is I can't answer like everything. I feel like a jerk, but a bunch of people talking about the favorite stuff. I guess I didn't realize there was that many people. Andy Morgan's with them.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, I haven't heard much. People. There's a bunch of people saying, yeah, I still hear a bunch from.
You also don't watch tourney, like you're not a big tourney, like you don't. I mean,
I watch MLF. That's pretty much it.
But you're not like.
I'm not die hard.
You don't follow it like a. Right,
no. I watch them and stuff when they're on. I love it because I think that's another thing for bank fishing is don't be afraid to watch tournament stuff because I can't tell you how many things I've got from tournament fishing. It's not always, apple to apple. It can be apple to orange, but it's how you change it to it. So like, I can't think of something off right offhand, but I know one thing. Speaking of Jacob Wheeler, somebody just mentioned him. That's been, I don't know, probably 6 years ago. In an old MLF, he was chasing fish, eating shad, didn't want to throw a popper because he was around a bunch of brush. He took a white frog, I don't remember what it was, cut the legs completely off so it was just like a little froglet, and he was walking it just like a little popper, or like a little walking bait, and smashing fish on it, getting it right next to logs and stuff. So if he accidentally got it on one, popped it over, didn't have to worry about getting it snagged. And I remember that year I went out, or the next year, and I happened to think of it because there was a bunch of grass where I couldn't fish a popper and destroyed them one day on that. Just a white frog with everything cut off to mimic small bait fish. So, just because they're fishing out of a boat and they're, it's a tournament, don't think you can't get stuff from it. Oh, damn it. I went over the comment. It was somebody asked, when do you throw? Oh, I've got it up there. Cool. Al, when do you recommend using a square bill versus a lipless crankbait? Rich, you go first.
Oh, square bill. I'm typically around cover and targets, and lipless. I'm more covering flats typically.
Yeah, I agree. So like for me, and it's kind of a water temperature thing too. I mean, a lipless has a much tighter, better wobble.
If it's cold water, lipless is going to almost always win out.
Yep. And then your square bill has a much more erratic, wavy kind of crazy action. But yeah, like
Yeah.
Rich was saying, it comes over logs and wood. That's the thing too that I think people mistake is when I say wood, people are fishing brush and like sunken trees that are like a lot of fingery stuff. That can be very hard to come through versus like logs and wood. Square bills come over that stuff really well. So I think that's one thing because people say, well, I throw it at a tree and it gets snagged. Well, a tree that's sunk like this with all these little fingery things, it's hard for a square bill to walk through that. But
Stubby siding.
was Stubby in here? Stubby dog, come here. You want to come say hi? What else do we have?
Yeah, there's an art to it, right? Like there's a
Yeah,
feel
there really
to working a crankbait or a square bill through a log or a laydown. Like if you just you got to kind of like feel it and kind of swim it through there. So it takes practice. You're going to lose some.
Yeah, letting it float. That's why I know they're a little bit more expensive, but going to like a balsa, like the BX Brat or whatever. I guess that's been the biggest one that I've used just because you can get them shallow, or the like the Rapala DT, like a DT4. Balsa is so buoyant, it floats so quick as when you're reeling and you hit a log, you feel that thump. You just let it pause and it pops up so quick you can come right over it. So it's almost like you're walking it through there is what people call it. I don't know what else.
Another good tip is if you know you're shallow cranking, think about mono or copoly instead of fluorocarbon.
Yep.
And definitely not braid. Braid, you'll stick that thing right in the log every time. You want some line with a little bit of stretch and a rod with a little bit of give to get it to deflect and bounce off. If you've got a rod or a reel or line with zero stretch, you're going to like that. Just going to catch. You need it to kind of deflect and bounce off.
Yeah, the good thing about using braid is if you throw crankbaits with 65-pound braid, you can just reel that whole tree in, and then you can get all the crankbaits off of it. So Travis, we got a donation. These are going to be the last two. So Travis, he's asked this a couple times. Lose reel or Corrado and St. Croix rods? That's a huge wide open question, dude. I like everything that you said there. I don't think there's a right or wrong in any of them. I think Luz has good and bad reels. Corrados, you can't really go wrong with the Corrado. I guess I can't really argue that unless you hate like centrifugal brakes, then don't get a Corrado. And St. Croix rods, I don't have a ton of experience with them, but the past few years I've used them and really like them. So I wouldn't say one is like do this, do that. You can't go wrong with the Corrado though. Corrado K, they're one of the best selling reels for a reason.
There was a few years like the Corrado G's and a few others. But
oh yeah, they did have some bad years. I'm assuming he's talking about like the new stuff, but let's see. Okay, Lion Mike, this is going to be the one we're ending on. Hopefully this is a fun one. Thank you for the donation, my good sir. As somebody who just fishes from the bank and just owns one spinning setup and that's it, I really appreciate the live. Well, you're welcome, sir. That's a fun one to end on. Yeah, and that's the thing too is people get like I'm a gear nerd. But like you need one combo. I mean, you need one spinning combo. You can do everything on a spinning rod that you can do on a casting combo. I prefer a bait caster because I think you can be a lot more accurate. You can control cast better. I think they do certainly have a lot of advantages over a spinning rod, but if that's all you have, doesn't mean you can't get out and fish just as much with somebody with 5 bait casters with them. You know, the big thing is get out there and fish.
If you just want to get out fishing, 6'6" to 7 foot medium, whether it's a spinning rod or a bait casting rod, you put yourself 20 to 30 pound braid on there and get yourself a spool of mono if you want to tie a leader and go have some fun and catch some fish.
Yeah, or mono. I always recommend like Trilene XL. It does want to jump off your reel a little bit more if you're using a spinning rod. I guess I'm kind of talking bait caster.
I'm a big proponent to putting braid. If you got one rod, I would run in braid and then just add leaders. I think we should answer Fish Daddy 401. Like I feel like that's a fun question to.
The breakfast one?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you answering? This is the one we'll end on. Fish Daddy's.
Yeah. So I love a good breakfast. Like I don't make breakfast all the time, but when I do, I love a good breakfast. I want a big like a little bit of every would be ideal would be like have hash browns and then like bacon or sausage and 2 eggs, and then if I'm hungry, maybe some pancakes or maybe some biscuits and gravy to go with it.
I'm not picky, dude. I love food a lot. Biscuits and gravy is hands down my favorite breakfast supper.
The only problem is like sometimes they can screw up biscuits and gravy, but it's really hard to screw up hash browns, eggs, and bacon.
Well, see, I thought if I'm making him here, like,
Sure.
oh, but he's a diner. Okay.
Daniel, I never trim the tails on my biscuits and gravy. Assuming that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I really don't eat out a ton. Like I eat Casey's biscuits and gravy. They're not great, but I guess I do eat out more now. But Hardee's, I think, has the best like biscuits and gravy around. Like if you just want a takeout, dude, Hardee's is money. I wish they had more sausage in it, but I think that's it. Okay, we're getting out of here. We're getting crazy in the comments and breakfast. But Rich, thanks for jumping in and joining me. Thank you everybody else who jumped in to support and talk. I appreciate you all a ton. And whoever I forget who the giveaway winners was that Trevor. Anyway, I think we talk on Instagram. So we're getting out of here. Thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate you all. And until next Saturday,